5.995 carbine was originally introduced during the so-called assault weapons ban during the mid-90s. Many of y'all might know this as the Clinton ban. This is chambered in 9mm. It's a blowback operation. It features an all-weather black or camel polymer stock. The version you're seeing here with the chrome receiver cover and the chrome barrel cover, to my knowledge, is not offered anymore. It also comes with a sling, swivel mount, and it also comes with some type of Weaver scope mount. This allows you to mount some kind of scope optic if you wish. Also has a 10-shot magazine, a grip mounted magazine release. Comes with fully adjustable sights with a rear ghost ring sight and a front post. Overall length of this firearm is 31.5 inches and 7 pounds. The barrel on this firearm is 16.5 inches. It comes with a quick on and off thumb safety and is plus P rated for plus P ammo. Okay, what about prices? Well, due to the climate today, with the buying up of everything due to firearms, ammo, whatever, it's hard to say. I'm gonna give you a ballpark between $180 and about $300. I know it's a large ballpark, but quite frankly, it's hard to tell. I bought mine new back in the day for like $150, but I've heard them going for today for close to $300, if not more. So somewhere in that range you should be okay. I would not pay over $300 for one of these though. Okay, before we get into some of the pros and cons of the firearm, I want to talk about some features that's kind of overlooked. The first thing here is the bolt handle itself. Now, this is not a last round lockout firearm, aka the bolt does not lock back after the magazine is empty, which I will get into the cons of the video. But there is a way to lock the bolt back for cleaning and inspection or whatnot. Now what you need to do is simply pull back on the bolt and move this little sleeve, and this sleeve will go into an oversized hole onto the receiver cover itself. So you'll pull back on the bolt and push that little sleeve cover into that hole. Now, in order to release it, all you got to do is simply pull that bolt handle loose, and then it will simply release like so. Now, you just want to make sure you don't pinch your finger in between the bolt and this little sleeve when releasing it. Alright, some pros about this firearm. Well, first off, as you sure know, it's cheap. It's a good, cheap, bang for the buck value firearm. And quite frankly, I think it's worth it. Second, it's accurate. I find this firearm extremely accurate for its size. Not a super tack driver, but for a small 16-inch barrel carbine, damn good accuracy. Now that kind of leads me into the third pro, and that is the ergonomics. I think that kind of makes it pretty much accurate as it is because it's very comfortable to shoot. The mold of the polymer frame, even though I don't like the polymer itself, which I'll talk about in the cons, it's very ergonomically. The hand fits good with the hand, goes to your cheek really well, real good and comfortable. And the fourth, last but not least, pro about this is cheap. Yeah, I know I already said cheap, but that's one of the biggest things about this thing. It's really cheap. It's a great bang for the buck. Alright, some cons about this firearm. Well, first off, I don't have a last round lockout, as I talked about before. So that's not nice. Being a modern shooter that I am, I'm used to a last round lockout when I'm shooting. That way I know to do my magazines change. So when you're shooting this and you hear that click, you kind of, you have an oh shit moment for yourself, but it's not bad. It just takes a little while to get used to. The biggest con about it is it's ugly. I'm sure y'all can see it's a pretty ugly firearm, kind of known as the ugly duckling. Even with the chrome look that I got on mine, it's still not that ugly, it's still not that pretty. It's real big and fat, it's a big hunk of metal. But I tell you what, it still shoots. Another con about it is the single stack magazine. Now I told you I'd talk about this. Now let's talk about it. These tend to be problematic to begin with, but there's also one thing about these magazines. The High Point tends to release them sometimes with the feed lips not perfect. And what happens is you start running into feeding problems and jamming because of these feed lips. So what you might have to do is bend these feed lips in or out depending on what your problem is. Now for more information about this problem, if you're having it, or if you're just thinking about getting to the High Point and you want to know about this problem, first of all, it's fixable. You don't got to worry about that much. But if you want to learn more about it, I advise you to check out the High Point forum. Go to the carbine section, ask around, or just go into the search forum, the search part of the forum, and search old forums about this problem and people doing this fix. But it's very easy to fix, and if you want to learn about it, I advise you to check out the High Point 995 forum. Alright, another kind about this firearm is it's hard to break down. It's hard to break down and clean. It takes a while. It involves a lot of tools. You're going to take off these little bolts here and there. And, excuse me. It's just overall, it's not fun to break down. You really don't got to do that much. And if you talk to most High Point owners, they rarely do it, myself included. But it's just a pain in the butt to do. I actually did a video on this some time ago. If you want to check it out, learn how to break down your High Point, you can watch that video. The audio blows in the video, but hey man, I don't got time to remake it right now.